In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about birthdays in Poland. I am turning 40 this year, so I thought I'd reflect on what I've learned about Polish birthday customs, as well as give you a little bit of a backstory on how I've celebrated my birthdays over the years here. I've chosen this rather random location because this is where I celebrated my first birthday. It used to be a Bobby Burger. I've only just realized today that the place is closed down and it's now an empty shell. But I'm going to give you a little tour of the places where I've celebrated my birthdays and give you some insights into the customs as well. One thing I'll add is this year, for anyone who wants to help me celebrate my birthday, but also to help grow my channel, I have set up a fund that people are welcome to donate whatever they like to. And the plan is to save money to buy some equipment. So I want to buy, for example, a GoPro. So when I'm doing my mountain trips or kayaking or anything like that, I can give you better action quality. And secondly, I want to look into a drone because when I go to a lot of these places in Poland, I think having that aerial view of some of the sites would be a lot more entertaining for viewers on the channel. So if you're interested in contributing to that, I will put a link into the description of the video. If not, no worries, but thank you for watching. So please stay tuned as I take you through the Polish birthday journey. In my experience, birthday celebrations in Poland tend to be smaller affairs where people will gather a close group of friends and they will normally, say, invite people back to their flat where they will prepare lots of food and there will normally be lots of alcohol provided. Me, on the other hand, I've never really been one for small parties if I'm throwing something, and I don't like to make people feel left out. So with Bobby Burger, I had a friend, Kasia, who helped to, let's say, negotiate with the owners. And we kind of worked out a deal where I think we paid something like 500, 600 zloty. And that included some food, some alcohol, so everyone could have a toast. And I had a friend who was leaving my company, a close friend, Shimon, at the time, and we helped us split the costs on that. But it's worth noting that often, if you want to hire a space for a large group of people in Poland, you can perhaps have a bit of a cover fee if that place is a bar especially. They seem to like to punish large groups. Now I've taken you to, well, basically where I was living. So this is the block of flats I lived in for, let's say, the first 3 years. So after Bobby Burger, we would, we did a lot of drinking of beer. We had a lot of toasts, shall we say. Stolat was sang many times, and I will perhaps give you a slight rendition when I'm somewhere quieter. But I decided we will have the interim phase of the party, which will just be for anyone who wants to come, and then the second phase would be at my flat. So people came back to my flat, and you could say it got a bit crazy. I was rather drunk. I don't handle vodka well, and we kind of turned my flat into a bit of a rave. So I think we fit about 50 people into a place that was about 45 square meters. So people were on the balcony, people were in the corridor. It was a bit of a wild party. We had the music playing. I'm pretty sure the neighbors hated me by the end of it. I had lots of food. In fact, Kasia, who helped to sort things with Bobby Burger, also helped me to do some cooking. And a friend, Evelina, prepared some salads. And yeah, I made sure there were plenty of snacks and things and plenty of alcohol in the fridge for people. And of course, vodka in the freezer. The party pretty much went on through the night. One person managed to throw up in the corridor, which was not good. My neighbors were not happy. But the thing with Polish people is a lot of the time they take responsibility. So people actually cleaned that up after this happened. So I was kind of spared that detail. But it was a pretty crazy party. But I want to carry on and show you where typically, if you are lucky enough to be born in the summer, you would celebrate your birthday in Warsaw, and to tell you some more about the customs and traditions associated with this special time of year. So stay tuned. So typically in Warsaw, if you're born in the summer, you are probably going to be along the river somewhere for your birthday celebration. In fact, most parties and outings tend to be along the riverside in the summer because you get to enjoy excellent views. You can take your own alcohol. There are often bars nearby, and it's just nice to be outside and to appreciate those summer months when we have such cold winters here. The only downside, the mosquitoes or the flies or whatever kind of flying insect is generally around. And even though you get bats out here, there need to be more of them to deal with these annoying pests, shall we say. So I tend to come to this part of the river. So this is the Gdański Bridge behind me. And I like this area because firstly, it's quiet. Most people will go down, let's say the far end of the city, to the Poniatowski Bridge. And with the Poniatowski Bridge, you have a large beach area where people can have fires. Nobody would swim. You don't want to swim in this section of the Vistula. But most people, I think, party there because it's a large open space. It's pretty central, easy to access by public transport. Me, however, I'm not so much of a fan. Partly, it gets too crowded. Secondly, as we've experienced in a lot of our kind of Warsaw global parties that we've had there recently, you get a lot of weirdos, you get kind of some like homeless people coming along. There can be a risk of fights, there can be a risk of stuff being stolen. These are very rare incidents, but it's the kind of part of Warsaw where anything can happen really. So I prefer to go somewhere more quiet. Now, in my second and fourth birthdays I celebrated here. The fifth will be this year, but the second and the fourth I celebrated on these very steps. And you know, we would have about between 30 and 50 people come along. And I remember my second year in particular was very memorable because I had a lot of close friends from work. I was, you could say, quite in love at that time, and I was very happy about that. And my friend Arthur came along with a friend of his, and they were singing and playing the guitar, so we were able to dance to live music. So it was a really magical evening, and yeah, afterwards we did go back to the flat for a small after party, which was, you know, pretty quiet. I think by the time most people had finished on the river, they were pretty, let's say, drunk and out of energy. One custom I want to talk about. So as well as celebrating birthdays here, in Poland and quite a few parts of Europe, mainly kind of Catholic and Orthodox countries, they have something called Name Day. And this is derived from, like, let's say, old Christian beliefs, and it comes from Saint's Day, where if people shared the name of a saint, they would also celebrate their birthday on, I guess, the day of the saint's birthday or whatever. And in Poland, basically, as long as you have a name that fits the, let's say, the Polish catalogue, you will have a day in the year dedicated to you. There is normally more than one, so you celebrate the one that is after your birthday. And typically, let's say, people who are not so proud of their age, they tend to celebrate Name Day rather than their birthday. Of course, Name Days, I say, are like a secondary celebration, not as big, but it depends on the individual. But we're going to show you one more site, talk a little bit more about tradition, and get away from the train which is coming here. So please stay tuned. So this area is called Plaża Żoliborz. Plaża meaning beach, and Żoliborz being the district. So it's a small beach, a little bit tucked away, as I say, a little bit quieter. There are a few people out and about today. which is surprising for a Tuesday. You have several places for fire pits, woodland right by you, and access to the river to enjoy the views. Plus, as you can see behind me, there's a bar, and there's some more bars over there. So if you run out of alcohol, you always have somewhere else to get some more. And this is where I spent my third birthday here, let's say the COVID birthday, so 2020, everyone's favorite year. It was a bit harder to get numbers. I think I got about 15, 20 people that year, but it was still fun. We had a fire, we were cooking kielbasa over the fire, which you have to do. It's kind of criminal if you don't take advantage of that. And yeah, it was nice, but like a lot of people at the time were nervous about going out. You know, a lot of people lived with elderly relatives. They didn't want to accidentally contract COVID and bring back illness to their family, that kind of thing. So it was a bit of a tough time. But I intend to do my birthday here this year as well. And I think it's one of my favorite places to chill out, you know, for the reasons I've mentioned. Plus, it's not that far from where I live, which is a nice little bonus. And from the spot by Gdański Bridge, it's what, 10 minutes walk? So it's not that bad to get to, as long as you can get to the bridge, which you can do by public transport. So I was going to tell you a little bit more about traditions. So typical birthday presents in Poland, I guess they tend to get like whiskey for guys, vodka, so normally alcohol related. Last year people got me some like Witcher Funko dolls, which were pretty cool. I had some like PlayStation vouchers as well as well, whiskey. So I was very, very surprised and very grateful for those gifts. People will also buy vouchers and things for, I don't know, Allegro or companies like that here, clothing companies, wherever, you know, the person whose birthday it is would appreciate it. There's a bit of a tradition with the person whose birthday it is, like buying a round of drinks for the first drink for people. I don't think it's always followed, but typically it means you're expected to provide at least some alcohol for people if you're throwing a party, which is probably why people keep parties a bit smaller. Of course, I like to be outside and to do stuff like this on my birthday. A lot of people would just be happy enough to go for a meal somewhere, or they will, I don't know, go to like laser tag or something like that. It always depends on the person, of course. And the final thing to say about birthdays, so typically you will have a shot, you know, and it's like Astrovia, and then following that shot, you will, the group will sing Happy Birthday. However, in Poland, they do not sing Happy Birthday, they sing 100 lat, which means 100 years. And apparently it's bad luck to wish somebody luck for the next year, because you should be wishing them luck for the coming years of their life, not just the next one. So I said when I was somewhere a little bit quieter that I would do a bit of singing, so if you've held on this long in the video, then I hope you enjoy. So the song kind of goes like this. I think my pronunciation is, let's say, reasonable, but it's like 100 lat, 100 lat, nie żyje nam. 100 lat, 100 lat, nie żyje nam. Jeszcze raz, nie żyje nam. Nie żyje nam. And then there's like a second verse, which is very, very quick, like 100 lat, 100 lat, which I haven't quite learned yet. But yes, so that's pretty much what I have to say about Polish birthdays. I hope you learned something. I hope you got a few insights into life here. If you have a birthday coming up in the near future, I wish you a happy birthday in return. And a reminder, if you want to contribute to my fund to help buy better equipment for this channel, then please see the description in the comments and there'll be a link for you to donate. Completely optional, no pressure. Well, but otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I've been Richard, a Brit in Poland, and please stay tuned for my adventures around the country and to give you more insight into this amazing country which I now call home. So, do zobaczenia. Thank you very much for watching.